Most people do not realize when they stopped living authentically. It did not happen in one dramatic moment. It happened slowly, quietly, through small acts of self-betrayal. The first time they stayed silent instead of speaking honestly. The first time they changed their behavior to avoid judgment. The first time they chose approval over alignment. And from that moment forward, an invisible audience entered their mind, watching, evaluating, whispering opinions that were never invited. Stoicism begins by exposing this invisible force, because the Stoics understood that the mind cannot be free while it is being managed by imagined observers. Every decision becomes heavy, every action requires rehearsal, every word is filtered, and life turns into performance instead of expression. Marcus Aurelius warned that when you live for reputation, you live for something that is never stable, because reputation does not belong to you. It lives in the minds of people who are distracted. What power does another person's thought actually have over your character? None. And yet people give it total authority, shaping careers, relationships, self-image, and even moral choices around how they might be perceived. This is how freedom erodes without resistance, not through force but through consent. And the Stoic path begins when you withdraw that consent, when you see clearly that most people are not thinking about you at all, and those who are usually see you through the distorted lens of their own fears and desires. To live according to their judgment is to abandon your own compass, and a man without an inner compass is endlessly lost, drifting wherever approval pulls him. Stoicism does not tell you to rebel loudly or reject society. It teaches something far more dangerous: indifference to opinion, the quiet strength of acting from principle rather than reaction. And once you understand this truth, you start to feel something unfamiliar: space, mental space, where urgency dissolves, where you no longer rush to explain yourself, where silence becomes comfortable, and where your actions finally belong to you again. The foundation of Stoic freedom is the discipline of control, not controlling others but understanding precisely what is and is not yours to command. Epictetus stated clearly that some things depend on us and others do not, and suffering begins the moment we confuse the two. Your intentions are yours, your effort is yours, your values are yours, but opinions exist entirely outside your jurisdiction. Yet most people build their emotional life around outcomes they cannot govern. They chase praise, fear criticism, obsess over reputation, and feel personally attacked by misunderstanding. This creates constant inner tension because the mind is trying to manage chaos. The Stoics saw this as a form of voluntary suffering. Because you are attaching your peace to something unstable, opinions shift with mood, envy, ignorance, and context. What is praised today is mocked tomorrow. What is misunderstood now may be admired later. Anchoring your self-worth to this instability guarantees anxiety. And Stoicism offers an alternative: internal alignment. When your actions match your values, you gain something external judgment can never give or take: self-respect. And self-respect changes everything. You no longer need immediate validation. You no longer feel compelled to defend every choice. You stop explaining yourself to people who are not committed to understanding you. Marcus Aurelius wrote that it is not events or opinions that disturb us but our judgments about them, meaning the real battle is internal. Once you stop interpreting every opinion as a verdict on your worth, it loses emotional weight. Criticism becomes information, not identity. Praise becomes feedback, not fuel. And this shift creates psychological independence. You begin to move slower, speak less, act more deliberately, because urgency was always driven by the fear of perception. Remove that fear and clarity replaces it. The Stoics never promised comfort, they promised freedom, and freedom feels unfamiliar at first, because it requires standing alone without reassurance, choosing principle over popularity, and trusting your inner standards over external noise. But over time, this discipline hardens into calm confidence. You realize you do not need to be understood by everyone, only to be honest with yourself. And in that honesty, the mind settles, because it is no longer divided between who you are and who you are trying to appear to be. The Stoics spoke of something rare and powerful: the inner citadel, a mental stronghold where no external force has authority unless invited. This idea was not poetic fantasy. It was psychological strategy, because they understood that a person who cannot be invaded internally cannot be controlled externally. Most people leave their inner gates wide open. Every comment enters, every look is interpreted, every opinion rearranges their emotional state. Stoicism teaches you to close those gates. Deliberately, not through anger or detachment but through clarity, you begin to see that praise and criticism are both unstable visitors. Praise inflates the ego and creates dependence. Criticism wounds the ego and creates resentment. Both pull you away from reason. The inner citadel is protected by values, not emotions. When your actions are guided by principle rather than reaction, you stop oscillating with the crowd. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that people act from ignorance, fear, and habit, not from objective truth. Understanding this removes the personal sting from judgment. When someone misunderstands you, it no longer feels like an attack. It feels like information about their perception, not your worth. This is where emotional maturity forms. You stop correcting every false narrative. You stop defending yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Silence becomes discipline rather than weakness, and restraint becomes power. The Stoics believe that reacting impulsively gives control away, because whoever provokes your emotion controls your attention, and attention is life itself. Once you guard it carefully, you move differently. You speak less but with more weight. You choose your battles consciously, and most importantly, you stop needing to be seen a certain way, because your identity is no longer constructed externally. It is forged internally through repeated alignment between thought and action. This is why Stoicism produces calm strength rather than loud confidence. It is rooted in consistency, not performance, and over time this inner stability becomes visible, not because you demand recognition but because grounded people are unmistakable. They do not rush, they do not over-explain, they do not chase approval, and their presence alone communicates self-command. There comes a moment in every serious Stoic practice where something fundamental shifts. You realize that freedom was never about changing people or silencing judgment. It was about removing dependence on it. You stop waiting for permission to live honestly. You stop shaping your life around imagined reactions, and you start acting from a quieter, deeper place. This does not make you reckless or careless. It makes you precise, because when approval is no longer the goal, every action must answer to a higher standard, your own conscience. The Stoics believed this was the highest court, higher than public opinion, higher than reputation, higher than praise. When you live according to this inner law, you experience a rare form of peace, not comfort but steadiness. You are no longer pulled apart by contradiction. You do not need to be everything to everyone. You only need to be aligned with yourself, and alignment removes fear. Fear of judgment, fear of misunderstanding, fear of being disliked. Because these fears were always rooted in dependence, not reality. Letting go of that dependence feels uncomfortable at first, like stepping into open space without handrails. But with time it becomes strength. You begin to trust yourself deeply, and that trust replaces the need for validation. The Stoics did not promise that people would like you more when you stop caring what they think. Often the opposite happens, but they promise something far more valuable: self-respect. And self-respect changes how you walk, how you speak, how you endure hardship. It allows you to stand alone without feeling lonely because you are no longer divided internally. This is what Stoicism offers. Not escape from society but independence within it. Reflect honestly on where you are still seeking approval, where you are still shrinking to fit expectations. Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and press the bell icon so you never miss what helps you remain grounded, free, and unshaken.